Uju. See, these kids don't know how to act when they're not at a powwow. They usually dance way harder than that. I see them. Miigwech singers. You can have a seat if you'd like. Thank you very much. Miigwech. There, that's better. Today I've prepared a speech. I usually don't write too many speeches. I like to just talk, and whatever comes out, comes out. I kind of have a reasonable thingy, facsimile sort of approach to things when I do that. But today there's a lot of territory that I want to cover. I don't want to take too much time, but I'm going to cover the state of the band at this time. Miigwech. Uju nindinui magnaduk, di jinishnabetuk. Niminwain dahalama wabaminigo, nungum. Ogimabetung, nindishnikas, minawa bejik niganigabo, makwa, nindundim, muskagme wazag, I getting ndunchipa. As I speak in my broken Ojibwe, I want to try to translate a little bit about some of the things I talk about. Constantly trying to learn more of the languages as I can. I make a lot of mistakes along the way, but you know, it's a good time to try and relearn our native traditions and our cultures. My name, I received a name last summer from an elder in the community of Panima, and the name is Lead Runner. She said running leader, so I better make sure I interpret that right, because you know, if I'm call myself the lead runner, you know, I'm not going to be able to keep up with all these young guys around here. So I better just stick to the interpretation that it was. I'm really happy about receiving that name, and it's something that I carry with me in great honor. I'm from the Red Lake District. I was born and raised here, and I've been the tribal chairman now. This is my second term. And to my colleagues in tribal government, Treasurer Siki, Secretary Bolio, Panima District Representatives Martin and Nelson, Red Bay District Representatives Pemberton and Westbrook, Red Lake District Representatives May and DeCharlie, Little Rock District Representatives Barrett and Green, Hereditary Chiefs William King, Breeding Spears, John Sumner, Gerald Spears, Alexander Gillespie, Samuel Smith, and James Lau, and of course our spiritual advisor, Tommy J. Stilday. It's an honor to stand here before you today and deliver the Red Lake Nation inaugural State of the Band address. It's the first time that this has been done on our reservation in this particular format, so I'm really proud to be able to deliver this today. To our distinguished guests, tribal leaders, and our partners outside of the Red Lake Nation, thank you for honoring us today with your presence. To my parents, my family, my wife, my dear friends, and to my staff, thank you for your encouragement, your love, and your support. And thank you, fellow band members, for the opportunity to serve the Red Lake Ojibwe Nation as the tribal chairman. Today, as we, along with the rest of American citizens, acknowledge the leaders of the United States, we also, as a sovereign tribal government, set aside this special time to honor our own leaders and honor their legacy on this Chief's Day. I'd like to begin today by taking the time to recognize our veterans, the protectors of the people, the Ogichida that we look to for safety, security, and the assurance of a better future for our citizens. Miigwech for your service. May the Great Spirit guide those of you who are serving in times of war safely back home, to your loved ones, to your families. We pray for your safe return, and we miss you when you are away. Today marks the first steps in a journey that we will take to restore our once proud Indian nation back to prominence. A nation that provides for its members safety, opportunity, and a sense of pride in belonging to the Red Lake Band of Chippewa Indians, or what I like to call the Red Lake Ojibwe Nation. We are a nation Unique in that we are the closest thing to a government that preceded the United States that is still intact within its boundaries. Our lands and resources held in common, and our internal affairs are controlled by the citizens of the Red Lake Nation. Although we strive for partnerships and good relations with the rest of Minnesota citizens, we operate free of state control and jurisdictions. This is a special status to have. We must never forget how fortunate we are to possess what was taken away from so many of our fellow Indian nations. Over the last several years, we have endured many hard times as a tribe, and we have stood strong. This is a testament to our determination as Indian people. We have encountered devastating tragedy, adversity, attacks on our sovereignty, and hard political seasons that divided the Red Lake Indians and pitted us against one another. But now, we put that behind us, and we move forward as one people. Not divided by districts, political affiliations, or so-called degrees of Indian blood. Not separated by gender, age, or religious differences. We are all Ojibwe Indians and the descendants of such. We all have a special bond that ties us to this land and to each other. The uniqueness that we were blessed with was handed down by our native forefathers. We stand on their shoulders. Today, let us acknowledge what the chief represents and what this leadership position historically has stood for. Let it be a reminder of what we used to be and what we can once again strive for as Indian people. This is the message that I carried with me throughout my bid to become the tribal chairman. The reason why I wore this headdress, I want to talk about that a little bit today. When we were having hard times, Tommy J and myself were invited up to the Canadian First Nations to meet with the Ojibwe chiefs. And we went through ceremony up there. And this was a traditional Ojibwe headdress that was presented to me at that time. And we were instructed to come back to the reservation and share the culture and traditions that a lot of our younger generation had seen slip away. It symbolizes a return to our culture and our languages and our traditions that so many of us have lost. That's important for us to get back to that. We're out of harmony as an Indian people, and so many of us don't pray anymore. That's important. That's one of the things that is happening with us. Today I'll outline some of the changes that we will seek in order to restore our tribe and to provide hope and opportunity for our young people and our elders and all of the community members. But let's take a brief look back at some of the highlights of the past several months. In January of this year, we received reports that the debt service on our gaming expansion projects at Seven Clans, Thief River, and War Road have dwindled to just over $6 million. By the end of 2007, these debts will be retired, and the tribe will begin to realize for the first time in many years revenue that will help us to enhance our services to communities and to improve upon our existing gaming enterprises. Plans are underway to decide the best course of action to take in order to best serve our tribal members when this happens. Back when these projects took place, Red Lake Gaming also borrowed $4 million from tribal stumpage accounts to pay for casino expansions. Since we basically borrowed the money from ourselves, this debt service retirement will begin in 2008 when Red Lake Gaming will begin repaying those monies back to the tribe. A once seemingly insurmountable debt service of nearly $38 million is finally coming to an end. These expansions are accomplishing what they had originally set out to do: create additional jobs for tribal members, provide additional revenue for tribal unmet needs, and pay it all off within 7 years. We are right on schedule to complete all of these objectives as originally planned. Since 2004, we have borrowed an additional $3 million to upgrade machines or 3 casinos. and to install new accounting software that enables us to track all transactions within our properties. This was necessary in order to keep pace with competing casinos and to provide our customers with more current gaming options. Although we are not a huge gaming tribe that generates massive amounts of revenue,